Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the analysis of YOLENO TV. Now, the tribunal on the 27th February 2023 recommended the sacking of Irene MASIT and the other commissioners.
Findings derived from the investigations have satisfied the tribunal that the allegations of serious violation of the Constitution and other laws and gross misconduct have been proved to the required standard to qualify our recommendation for the removal from office of Commissioner Irene MASIT.
In this analysis, we'd like to call spade a spade by going direct and attacking the issues that Muchelule's tribunal could have used to make such a ruling. Let it be known that even before the start of this, Kenyans were aware about the outcome, that the outcome was not going to favor the four commissioners. Perhaps this explains the reason why Cherera and the other two commissioners had to resign. But MASIT was defiant and vowed to take this matter to the last bit. Of course, we understand that Donald Kipkorir had shown intentions of appealing that verdict because he had sensed that there was no way the tribunal was going to give MASIT a chance to continue being in IEBC. So I was going through a certain session in one of the leading media stations, and in one of the one of the morning shows, and the panelist threw a question to the senator of Vihiga County, Osotsi. And mind you, Osotsi is still in Azimio. So Osotsi said that according to Azimio, they knew that this was going to be the case. Because let's take, for example, that proceeding of Muchelule Tribunal. I don't know whether anybody saw any evidence that could incriminate MASIT in this case. None of them was seen. So what we noticed during the proceedings was that most of the witnesses relied on Chebukati's affidavit, and that was said by Donald Kipkorir, that most of the witnesses who were called upon only referenced what Chebukati said in his affidavit.
Money in the process, the whole thing around professionalism in running the process is what we are questioning. You saw, I even went to that JLAC meeting as a friend of the committee, and you saw the behavior of the chair of the JLAC committee, Honorable Murugara. They had a decision in mind which they needed to deliver, and they did that.
Do you remember how the committee sitting was, the session?
They sat in Charter Hall.
Asking how it was, how?
At one point, Azimio MPs walked out because they felt the process was not fair.
Okay.
And that is allowed.
So in his words, Muchelule said, this tribunal recommends that Commissioner Irene MASIT must be removed from office as a member of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. And then he went further and said, secondly, the actions of the commissioners to proceed to Serena Hotel to issue the pressure to disown the result that she had participated in tallying and verifying were intended to undermine and erode public trust in the commission and to the result. In our considered view, these actions amounted to gross misconduct. According to my interpretation of that remark is that maybe Muchelule could have requested that the president sacks MASIT simply because MASIT went to Serena Hotel. I mean, that could be the only reason, because we don't see any evidence. He has not talked about any evidence. He has talked about that going to Serena Hotel. So the question that I think most people are still wondering about is what should happen in the event that you have a divergent view or opinion, but your superior is not giving you a listening ear. Then what should you do? I think that should be the thing that Muchelule should have addressed, that in future, interactions, then this is what should be done. In the event that the votes, like for example, if you go by the numbers of IEBC commissioners, there were 7. 4 commissioners differed with the rest. 3 commissioners were on this side, 4 commissioners on this side. While Chebukati was supposed to be neutral, so if Chebukati was to be neutral, then that means 4 against 2. And Chebukati's vote is supposed to be a deciding vote. That if in the event that they tally 3-3, then you can weigh these options and say, I put my vote on the 3 that is on this side, or the 3 that is on this side. Now that's what is supposed to, that is what was supposed to be done. And in the event that the votes are 3 against 4, of course the 4 should carry the day, just like the way Supreme Court does. The majority carries the day. The only time the chairperson's vote is makes a lot of sense is when there is a balance, 3 against 3. So the 7 commissioners the number was put so that they have an odd number, so that at any particular time haiwezi kuwa ni decision kama ni kura inapigwa, then it will always fall on either side, or a unanimous decision. Those are the only likely instances. But in this case, what Muchelule thinks that he has solved, maybe he has not solved at all. He has not told us what should be done in future when there is disagreement in the commission, that you want to air out your grievance or you want to air out your opinion, but you're not given that podium or that platform to do it, because you will be taken to the tribunal and probably fired. Personally, I think hilo swala sio zuri, lakini just like I said, mkubwa apishwe, mnyonge anyongwe. Personally, I agree with the MASIT decision not to provide a witness, because she had sensed that this tribunal was hell-bent in, just making sure that she is dismissed. So that's why there was no reason to bring in a witness. And again, there was no reason to bring in a witness because hakukuwa na case against her. And it's evident that statement that Muchelule has issued, that the only reason that he thinks MASIT should be fired is because she went to Serena Hotel. So that is the only reason, ladies and gentlemen. There is no any other reason. But it's okay. The decision has been made. So, ladies and gentlemen, the tribunal also used the meeting that the 2 delegations comprising of National Security Advisory Council, led by Kennedy Ongeto, Hilary Mutyambai, and Lieutenant General Francis Omondi Ogola, and another comprising of elders, led by former Cabinet Secretary Raphael Tuju, visited all the commissioners and asked them to moderate the results or in the alternative force a runoff. So what Muchelule is saying is that the elders were present in that meeting. In them being in that meeting, they were trying to force a runoff. That is what Muchelule says. We don't know whether these facts are correct because we don't have a footage to, cross-examine, so that we as the public opinion or the public court can also make our own decisions. So, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps if you're viewing our channel for the first time, or if you're a regular viewer, please, and you've not subscribed, just hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and you can hit the notification bell so that every time we upload such videos, you'll always become the first person to get notified. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for those who've been supporting us. Thanks so much for being with this channel until this level. And thank you so much. You stay blessed and stay safe until we catch up again in our next analysis.